I was born in 1920. I'm 95 years old. I've been blessed with good health. My life has been military schools from first grade through the 8th grade. Then I went to public schools. The reason I was in military schools is my mother had a beauty shop. She was at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, and she had an interest in this hotel and this beauty shop. So she couldn't care for me. She was a widow. My father was shot by a burglar before I was born. Fabulous lady. I went to public school from 9th grade on, graduated from Polytechnic High School, went to USC on the GI Bill after the war. I worked at Lockheed before the war, building Hudson bombers. These Hudsons were, I was a riveter, made 51 cents an hour. War comes along, the Japanese had December 7th they attacked, and the whole world was in a conflict. I became a pilot because I didn't want to be a foot soldier. I had a crew, and we bombed Germany. The bombing of Germany was a daily activity. With my crew, we were always at risk, of course. I evaded for a little bit, maybe a couple hours. I ended up in a little village with 2 little boys. They found me and took me into a village. When I got in the village, I kept sitting down because I was just exhausted, traumatized. And the people came around, and there was just maybe 20 people. And pretty soon one guy came over and kicked me, and then another and another. And they were going to kill me. They were that angry and in a rage. But out of nowhere, some old man with a gun fired it into the air and came over and threatened them. Said, leave him alone. And he saved my life. That's why I got out of the airplane safely. And then I got saved by this man. And he took me to a Luftwaffe base some distance. And when we parted, we embraced. It was that type of a relationship. I ended up in a prison camp for 9 months. I was 168 pounds when I went in. I got down to 115. And I was just skin and bones. But they, in the 9 months in the thing, it's just a challenge to survive. There were 10,000 of us in the camp. Anybody that was missing an arm or a leg, they sent home. They sent them back to the Red Cross. So we never saw anybody injured that was not able to function. None of us care for themselves. And when the war was over, which was May 1st, it was a joyous time. They took us home. They took us to Camp Lucky Strike, where we had 70,000 prisoners, all collected from all over Germany. And they put us on boats, sent us to New York to Los Angeles by train. And then, but now I'm able to go to USC on the GI Bill. I went to work for a lumberman with Wayne Mullen. He had about 4 lumber yards and a sawmill, and we were managing this company for him. So one Saturday, he came down to see us, just to see how his business was doing. And we looked at him, and I said to him, Wayne, when are you going to sell us this business? He said, Harry, it's always been for sale. Oh, So we sat down and started buying it. Pretty soon I ended up owning it. My son's a doctor. It's wonderful. All he had to do was pass the tests and do this and do that. And when I look at what he accomplished, I think it's just fabulous. He went to Yale Medical School. You know how hard it is to get in Yale? You have to be. So I went to the bank and I said, I need $12 million. What are you going to do with it? I said, I'm going to buy more lumber. I'm going to carry more inventory. I'm going to lend more money to lumber yards that need money. I'm going to do that 12 million. So I said, he said, well, let me see your stuff. So anyway, I showed him all my sales. In that particular year, we did 150 million in sales. Anyway, it all worked. We had a mission on the 5th mission to Peenemünde. And Peenemünde is where the heavy water experiments were. And that's where the Germans were working on the atomic bomb. This particular mission, we had one burst of flak out the back, and we got one of our waist gunners were injured. So when I called the leader and I said, we need to leave for the home, and he said, no, there's too many fighters in the area. And I said, I haven't seen one. So I waited about 20 minutes, and then I took off, and I said, I'll see you later. And he said, good luck. We beat everybody home by about 30 minutes. We rushed him into surgery and took out the wound, the shrapnel. And he's the only man that lived in the crew. I lost my crew on my 7th mission, and we were shot down by a 190 Focke-Wulf. And it was a miracle that I lived and the crew died. You know, at the moment of being shot at, and the bullets are just wrecking the instrument panel, and then they shot the controls out and the plane went into a vertical climb. Vertical climbing, and had a hammerhead stall. Plane blew up, and I'm here by a miracle. It's just amazing.
So, do you mind telling us what your life was like around where did you and your fellow airmen launch from?
Landed near Peterborough, 457th Bomb Group.
Whenever you weren't on a mission, how would you?
We were resting, sleeping. We never had enough rest.
How many missions did you go?
7. I was shot down on my 7th.
So how many years in total were you in German captivity?
9 months.
9 months. Oh, okay. How you felt when you finally learned that the U.S. had won and you were finally free to go?
Oh, well, it was a celebration. It's just magic. What a joy.
So you lost a lot of weight during that time in captivity.
I got down to 115, and that means skin and bones.
So during your captivity, how was life like? Like, how did people keep their morale up?
Well, for one thing, we had 20 guys in a room, and it just we had Red Cross parcels. That was a joy, but never enough. Hunger is daily with you.
How did you stay in touch with your family and friends?
Just through mail and phone calls. No, my mother was rode all the time.
So, when the war ended, do you remember where you were?
I was in camp.
So, how did they go about bringing you guys back
One
to the
thing,
US?
the towers were empty. The men that were guarding us left. They sensed what was happening in the war. They knew the war was over. They no longer had a relationship with us. They were now back to normal.
So, how did they go about bringing you and your fellow soldiers home from?
They just took a B-17, took it to the closest airport. They counted us off, I think it was 40 to a plane, and took us to Camp Lucky Strike. It took about, I think it was about 2 days.
How did you readjust to like everyday life when you came back?
Sleep late, not be hungry, enjoy relationships with old friends. Went right about getting started at USC, separating from the service, retiring. Our lives were busy with buying clothes, getting our teeth fixed. I mean, there's so many things that are necessary after this type of thing, that you're going about repairing what was wrecked, getting a car. It's just, every day is something to do, you know.
So, during your service, do you have any memories that would stand out to you?
I was selected to represent the squadron in acrobatics.
Did you form any friendships during your service?
And maximum efforts. It's very demanding physically, emotionally, to be a pilot and be in a conflict. You need to dress for the activity with electric suits, and everybody has a way to survive if they have to bail out. When I did bail out, out of 10 people, I was the only one that lived. But let me tell you what happened after I landed.